to upload the site logo from the customizer from here, currently we do have the option, right? Let me see if we do or not. 1 second. Plugins, deactivate. Yeah, we already have the option to upload site logo, so which is good. I can upload site logo. So I go with this one. Yeah, it's showing. So site logo is already taken care of. I can see it here, which is good. So I'm going to mark this as done. हाँ लास्ट टाइम ऐड कर वही बोल रहा हूँ इट्स डन ऑलरेडी इज देयर स्ट्राइक थ्रू ऑप्शन क्या चीज ECMAScript is the standardization of JavaScript. I'm putting that this is done. I'm just making that color. Actually, much darker color would be good. Menu items like home etc. should be editable from the appearance menu. So register 2 custom menus. So you need to register another menu because in the design, if you check, where's the design? This one. Check the design, there is also this menu, correct? So you have to register another menu. So to register the menu, you just need to go to functions.php, and wherever you are registering menus, register menu. Yeah, here is where you are registering menu, right? Yeah. Just need to add one more menu. Header secondary. So to register menu, just need to add the key value pair, which is this header secondary. Okay. Now when you do that, that option you will get in the menu itself. So if you go to appearance menus, you will get the option. Can you see now you have the header secondary menu because you use this, right? So all you have to do is add some more, create another menu. So you'll click on create and then header secondary menu and then create it. Add couple of options here. I'm adding the same for now, and then select header secondary menu. So whatever you select here is going to come into the secondary menu. Now yes, that is correct. Now we need to add this option over here like a menu bar. I think it's in the mobile also, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's here. So let's get this icon quickly. Where is the icon? Just an image actually. So where is the menu? We'll have to go to the menu first. So template paths, no, it should be inside of the header, right? Header WP nav menu. This is where we are actually using those menus, right? So besides that, we need to create another one over here, and we can give this icon. So how do I get this icon actually? It's an SVG. वो तो ऑलरेडी है ही ना हमारे पास, मोबाइल के लिए डबल है ना. सी डबल this also, so we have to use a different icon. We're already using that. So the link is already there for this, so I'll just use that. So I'll create another div over here and we'll call it as header secondary menu icon. Image source header secondary. Let's go back to There you go, it's here, but we need to change the width and the height. Width, let's go with 48. Height, let's leave the height for now, just go with width. It's not working. Why it's not taking the width and height? Yeah, I did. Anyways, we have to add it by the CSS, I guess. It's not taking class. Yeah, burger. No. Icon, wrap. So we got the icon. Basically, we just need to give it a different size, and we also need to add the menu for that. So I'll create a template part, and I'll create something like header secondary menu, and I have written the code for it, how to actually display menus when you have something custom available like that. So you just have to go to Aquila. It's 127 people already given stars to this. If you go to template parts, header, nav, this is where you can write the query and stuff. Yep. Menu class get menu ID. Okay, just 1 second. Includes classes. Yeah, 1 second. Not yet actually, उनका शायद कल या परसों का टिकट है. तो यहाँ पे मैंने कुछ फंक्शंस बनाए हुए हैं, तो इसको कॉपी कर लेते हैं. Let's go back to the functions.php. Includes, I'll create a file called menu. So this will contain all the menus related functions. I'm gonna put that Ollie's get menu ID. It's gonna get the location of the menu, and then this is gonna get the all the menus basically. Get all the child menus. No, I don't want child menus. Register menu, get menu ID. Yeah, fine. I'm also going to move the function related to the menu there itself. I don't want it at two different places. So I just like to keep things organized. If it's related to menu, I want to keep everything related to menu at one place rather than putting at different places. And of course, because I have moved it to another file, I have to give the location of this file over here, otherwise it won't be included. So that is going to be where includes and then menus.php, correct? So I just moved that function there, and then inside of menus, let's rename this function, just prefix Ollie's with it so it doesn't get clashed with the existing functions of someone else. Okay, so now we're gonna get the menus in this file, and for that, so to template paths, header, nav. So this is the function. So first we'll get the menu ID. Menu ID is a we'll create a variable called menu ID, and then we'll call this function to get the menu ID. It should actually be called, yeah. We'll call this function, we'll pass a parameter, and the parameter name will be the location. So what's the location actually? So location is basically this. That's the name of the menu, header secondary menu. That's the location we'll pass into this function. It's going to return the menu ID to us. So take a look. If I do print r header menu id die, again I have to include this file. It's not going to work otherwise. So where do I need this menu? I need this menu here, correct? So I'm going to just say, in fact I should move this icon also there because it's related to that, right? Yeah. And then I just need to include the file. So in included PHP tag include once. Where does it reside? It resides inside of template paths, I think. I think I can just use get template path function, can't I? This function. So template paths and then home and then header secondary menu. That's the file. So I'm just including so that the markup gets shown over here. So that should be taken care of. Now we go back to the front end and check. Refresh. We get the menu ID. See, 10 is the menu ID. So with the help of the menu ID we will be able to get the menus. So if you see, there is a function for that and it's called wp get nav menu items. So this function gives me all the menu items. So I'm going to create a variable and I'm going to name it as header secondary menu equals, this is the WordPress function. If you go to WordPress, you will see this is the function to get the menu item. See, it's by WordPress. What does it do? It retrieves all the menu items of the navigation menu by passing the menu ID. So I'm just going to call this function here, and this function, how do I know what does it take? So again, you click on this and see what parameters it accepts. So it says that it accepts menu ID, slug, name or object, anything out of this. I already have menu ID, right? Which I just shown you the 10, we got 10 as a menu ID. You just have to pass this menu ID because it's saying that you're supposed to pass this as parameter. And int means integer. So I'm just going to pass this menu ID over here dynamically. And now if I print the menu, I'm going to get that menu printed. So now you can see it's not pretty print, so I have to do echo pre-tag. Now it's pretty print. So now if you see, we are getting all of the menu items. So if you check, the name of the title is about, and the second one is sample page, right? It's got the URL also. And if you notice, that's what we have here, right? About, sample page, correct? If I add home also here like this, and if I save it, and if you refresh, you will notice that now you will have 3 items. So 2, and then oops, 3 items. So third item is, because the index starts from 0, 1 to 3, right? So you got, see, we got the home also. See this title home, right? Which means we've already got all of the data of those menu items, which is 3 menus, 1, 2, 3, and it's 0, 1, 2, which means total 3. All we have to do is just use the loop. Like we know we have loop available in PHP, just loop through it and use our own markup for that. So in order for us to loop on that, I'm just going to go ahead and come over here. Imagine that you had these list items. So what is our design? Our design is this, right? These ones. So these will be the list items. So let's put that inside of a div first, and let's give it a class name of menu items wrap, and this will be like multiple list items like menu 1, or maybe about, home, sample, etc. So now if you go back and check in the front end, you have to of course comment this out. refresh. Now you see you've got this home, about, and sample, right? It doesn't look that great because right now we haven't done the CSS, but what we really wanted was, you wanted this icon and you wanted this menu. When we click on this menu, then it should open. So we'll worry about that later, but let's get the menu dynamically. Right now we've got static, right? So in order for us to make it dynamic, we already got the data here. All we have to do is just loop through it. So what we're going to do is, we'll come over here, open a PHP tag, we'll check if not empty. What is not empty? This header menu, secondary menu. Header secondary menu is not empty, and we're checking two conditions. Is array, which means it should be an array. So do header secondary menu, and then if that is the case, again I need to write HTML, so I'll open and close and open PHP tag, put that here. Now I want to loop through these li items, which means I can get rid of these two because it's going to be anyways looped through. Again I'll open PHP tag, I'll check, I'll do a for each header secondary menu as menu item, and then inside of that again close and open because I want to write HTML, paste HTML here. Now if you go back, check, you can see it's been looped 3 times. Why 3 times? Because there are 3 items, but I haven't got the title, right? So how do I get the title? So if you go back and check, if you do a refresh, you'll notice that under each item the title is actually available inside the title here, which means if I say menu title, I can get that information. So now let me comment this out again, go back here, echo escape HTML for escaping, for security, and then menu item, and then I want, what is that title, right? So I'll put title. So this is going to make sure you put semicolon here, and then if you now refresh, you can see that you've got home, about, and sample page. Okay, but I can't click on it, so I need the link over there. So how do I do that? So where is the link available? Let's check. You can see that link is available here in the URL, correct? So all I have to do is just like we access title, same we have to access the URL. Comment out again, and this should be wrapped inside of a link tag. So A, and inside of A it should be whatever our title is. Again open PHP tag, echo escape URL for escaping URL, and then menu item, and where is the URL? It's here, URL. So I'll put URL over here and semicolon. That's it. Now refresh, there we go, home, about, sample. If I click on about, see it goes on about page. If I click on sample, notice the URL over here, right? It goes on the sample page. So that's how we got it dynamic. Tomorrow if the client wants to remove one of these, all they have to do is just to remove, save menu, go back, it removed. That's the advantage of making these things dynamic. Now all I have to do is style it properly. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of all of this. This is all done. I'm gonna commit it because I've done one functionality. So I'll say git add all, add dynamic menu. I'll push it so that I don't forget about it. I'll also go ahead, why can't I push it? Why can't I push it? Oh, I didn't commit it or what? Why? Updates were rejected because remote contains work you do not have locally. I'll merge it. Yep, no problem. That's good. That's working. Next thing I'm going to do is run my webpack so I can start doing CSS. So assets, cd assets, npm run dev, and I'm going to go to my CSS file, which is inside of assets, source, scss, components, home, Where is menus? Home. Where did you write CSS for menus? Where? Header? I think so. This is where you must have written. You should ideally create a nav secondary by naming these like this. It's very easy for you to find. Like I was looking for it and I was not able to find, but now you can see that I'm able to find. So let's put that there, and then of course I have to import it because otherwise it won't be included. So I'll say import components slash secondary nav. Notice that every time I'm including a new file, whether it's PHP or CSS, I'm going ahead including those, not missing that. Okay. So now what we need to do is, first thing I'm going to do is just ensure that I give it a correct width and height. So this is the menu icon wrap. I'll put that there, and then this width should be, oh, it's coming from here. It should be 1. See, the problem what you did, you directly applied the style on image tag. That's why it's saying, okay, give me header, and then any image, just apply that. You should not never apply directly to that. You should apply to a class. That's why whatever you did to this got applied to this also. Understood? Yeah. So now I'm going to go and see, I could have written image, but I'm not doing that because otherwise it's gonna get applied to can get applied to others. So I'll do this, and I think the width should be, what's the width ideally for this? Yep, width 16 pixels, height 16 pixels. Okay, so I'm hoping that should have been applied there. There it is. It's done. Next thing I'm going to do is pull this down. So this is my secondary menu wrap, but ideally it should be inside of this and not outside, I guess. Hold on. Header container. Yeah. This should have a position absolute actually. Does it have? It doesn't. Okay. So header container. Here it is. Position relative. I want to make sure this box, this one right here, needs to be in relation to this. So I'll give this item position absolute. I'll give right 0. Let's see how it does. Why didn't it work? Oh, not to the icon, sorry. It has to be to this items wrap. It should be down, and position absolute, because I want this to come out of this box. And okay, there you go. Now it's there. I'll give some background, so black. Yep. Color should be white, so color should be white. It should not be white actually, it should be yellow, right? So yellow, this is the color. I hope you've added color somewhere here in the colors. You haven't? Ideally you should. Settings? Yeah, you did. Should. Oh, nice. Should ideally put here yellow. There you go. There you go. Oops. Okay, now it's not being applied because the links inside of it are getting applied with their direct style. So we have to go and give them a class name. So where are they? They are here. Let's give them a class name. class. Let's name it as menu link. Sorry, you are learning, aren't you? Are you not able to understand what's going on here? Then you are learning on a daily basis, right? You are making blocks. If you are writing blocks, that means that thing is becoming part of you, because you are writing it, right? I'm sure you are not writing without understanding. So every day when you're writing those blocks, that skill, that functionality, how to build it, is becoming part of you. So you're already learning. Okay. So color should be yellow for that link. See, I'm not doing anything that you haven't done. Correct? You have done position absolute, you have done position relative. Now, this container has got position absolute in relation to this whole container. But the problem is it's stuck on the top. I don't want to get stuck on the top. I want, yeah, actually I do, but I want the height and width should be a little big. How big is this one? Let's take a look. It's actually the full width of the, can you see? It's the full width of the screen. So when you want to give a full width to any particular element, what you do is you say height, not width but height, should be 100 VH. VH means the width, sorry, the height of the screen. Okay, so when you do that, why did it not take it? Okay, I have to give top also. Top 0. What the heck? I gave it a height, so why it's not working? Oh, okay. The one inside of it is not taking the full height, so I have to give the one inside of it as a height 100%. So can you see this is taking, can you see the, if I give it a border and red, so if you notice that it's taking the full height, right, but not the one inside of it. The one inside is not taking the full height. So I have to give height 100% to that. So let's give it a class name. So header secondary menu items height 100%. Still not working. Why? Height 100%. Nope. Oh, it's not getting applied. See, height is not get. Hold on. Why it's not getting applied? But it's not getting applied. This is correct. If I give it a background, why the heck? It's correct. They are. Why it's not doing that? Top right, position absolute, height 400 pixels. Display block. क्यों नहीं हो रहा? Okay. Position relative. definitely taking that. For some reason. Oh my dear, why are you doing this? See, you applied position relative everywhere. That's why I'm saying why my style is not working. See? Never put style directly on childs. It's applying on every single ULLI. Okay? See? Okay. तुमने हेडर ULLI पे लगाया है, देखो ये दिख रहा है क्या? main डॉट css से आ रहा है, तो ये जितने भी ULLI हैं सबको लग गया जाके वो. ये पहले का होगा, उसको निकालना पड़ेगा. अभी तुम हेडर में जाओगे, यहाँ देखो ULLI को लगा हुआ है ना, उसको निकालो यहाँ से. अभी रिफ्रेश करते हैं और देखते हैं क्या सीन है, अभी क्यों नहीं लग रहा है. ये एब्सोल्यूट है विच इज़ फाइन. ये क्या है? हाइट 100%. इसको भी सही लग रहा है. ओके. इसको हेडर कंट्री के बाहर लेते हैं, फिर क्या करें, और ऑप्शन दिख नहीं रहा है मुझे. So if you go back to includes and go to header.php, I'm going to paste this here, but I'm going to move this out of the main header. So I'm going to put that down at the bottom. Let's see how that goes. Okay, see, now it is fine. It was not going out of its container for some reason, but now it is. Okay, and we also need to give it a width, so let's give it a width. Items wrap width will be, what's the width of this? Check. Okay, it's around 304 pixels, 270 pixels, right? 270 pixels. Let's try that. Okay, now I have to give this padding and stuff, so let's go with the padding. What's the padding of this? Let's find out. So padding is almost like 86 pixels on the left. So my padding, let's try that. Okay, font size needs to increase. What's the font size of this? This is the font size. I'm just going to go ahead and grab this and paste it here. I don't have time. Okay, let's go back. There you go. Okay, now we also want a cross button to close it. I'm going to first log out from this so it's visible. Okay, I need a cross button there. So I think they should have already given a cross button somewhere. Here is the cross button. Yeah, here it is, just using the cross. So I'll add that cross button on top. Div button, and I'll put cross, and I'll give it a class of close secondary menu. And now if I go back and check, I do have a cross button, which is great. I'm going to worry about the styles of it later. And so we got the menu for sure. I'm going to increase the Z index of this as well. So I'll say Z index 1. See? Yep, now it's fine. So I don't know if you can see on the screen or not, but when I was not giving Z index, can you see the text behind this is visible? Yeah, so that was the issue, that the Z index was the issue. So I increased the Z index, so now it's sitting on top of that, so now that is not visible. So we got this. Now this needs to be closed by default. So what are they doing? Let me see. Oops. It's coming out from the left, right? So how are they doing it? Transform, translate. So they're saying when it's open, then it should transform. So I'm just going to copy this. And this is my main container, so it's going to be for this. So whenever it's open, then it should be this. But if it's not open, then it should be transform X. This is the animation they're putting actually. So I'm going to put that animation, and then right is 0. Oops. Right is 0. What else is increasing? Just notice what's changing over here when I click on it. So right is still 0. Top is still that, which means there's no other change apart from that, I guess. Yeah. So all I have to do is go back to our code. Now you can see it's not visible, right? Because it did the transform for that particular element. So if you go back and check, go down, here it is. If you remove this, can you see? By just one property, our menu is kind of done. And this is for the time it takes. You can increase and decrease the times, 0.3 seconds. Ease in means easy, like smoothly. So all I have to do is just toggle this class. How can I toggle it? So I have said that whenever the class has open, which means if it has open, if I add a class called open here, then it should get open. Can you see it got opened, right? And if I remove the class, we have done this before, then it goes back. So all I have to do is just do this with JavaScript. So what I'm going to do is, where is my button? So this is the button, right? So I'm going to get hold of this button. I'm going to go and write a JavaScript. So I'll go to assets, source.js, and then inside of this I'll create something called menu, and then I'll create index.js. And because I've added a new file, it becomes important to import it, otherwise JavaScript would not know. So import menus, that's it. I don't have to add index over here, it's understood. Then I'll say class. I'll create, I don't even have to create a class. All I have to do is just do document dot get query selector, and the class name is this const. I'll store it in a variable and I'll name it as secondary menu button equals, it's not an icon but I'm just calling it a button. So now if I console the secondary menu button, I should get that information in the, so can you see it's got hold of, can you see what's happening on the right? Notice what's happening here. So it's got hold of that button. All I have to do is add a click event on this. So I'll say if secondary menu, if it exists, then secondary menu button dot add event listener. We have done this before. What will be the event? The name of the event is click, and then there will be a function inside this and that function will be, you can write it like, yeah, you can toggle the class. So which class we want to toggle? Where is that? This is the one, right? So I'll get hold of this element also. So secondary const secondary menu equals document dot query selector and quotes dot for select for class. And if I check secondary menu, if I console that secondary menu here, and if I refresh, you can see it's showing over here. Of course it's not visible, that's why you can't see it, but it's grabbing hold of that element, right? So all I have to do is I want that class to be toggled for that. So I want to say if, which means if that element exists, then secondary menu dot classless dot add open. First we'll check if what class it has. So secondary menu dot class dot one second, check class name JavaScript. See, I don't know, I'm just like you. I don't know what this function, I can't remember, but I can Google it. So I want to know the class name. So this is the class name. If I want to find out if this element has that class, I can do element dot class name dot contain. So this is my element, this is class list, and then dot contains. What is the class I'm checking? I'm checking the class open. So if it has the class open, then remove the class. Okay, else class list dot add, which means all I'm doing over here, when this button is clicked, which means this button, then I'm calling a function, which is this function, and I'm saying that if that element contains a class open, then remove it. If it doesn't, then add it. So it's kind of toggle. Okay, so now if I go back and check, you can see, right, it's working. But I have to now click on the click of this, I also want to close this, right? So I have to add another event. So first I have to grab this element, close secondary menu. So I'll say const close secondary menu button equals document dot query selector and I'll add an event down at the bottom, if then secondary menu button, sorry, close secondary menu button dot add event listener. I'll put an event on that. When it's clicked, then I'll call a function, the job of which is to remove the class open, and I'll check if secondary menu. Okay, so what this is going to do is if I click on this, if that element had the class open, it's just going to remove it. So let's refresh, click on it, click back in, click on it, click back in. Yeah, see, you're done. So congratulations, you've got your menu. I gave you a demo of how these things are going to work, how will it actually, you know, create a menu, how to make it dynamic, how to use JavaScript, how to apply styles, right, and how to achieve the same kind of layout as you currently have, right? Awesome. So I will need a block tomorrow on this. I'm just going to fix this, not looking good to me. Main header container, this. Actually these should go inside the same container so that they are close together. So I'm just going to put those inside the same container. So I'll just grab this, I'll put a div and menu buttons. Okay, menu buttons. Yeah, see, now it's there, but I have to of course give like display flex to that. So I'm gonna go over here on top. Oops. Display display flex, align item center. Let's see if that worked. No, it didn't. Why it didn't? Let me check. The menu buttons, I did give a display flex, so why did it not work? Oh, now it does. Okay. Okay. It needs to have some space, so I'm just going to say margin right 12 pixels. I think that should be enough. What the heck? Yep. Okay, you can control the height and width, but you get the idea. I think we needs a padding also, so I'll just give it a padding right of 12 pixels, I guess. So yeah, we got some padding also. All right, perfect. So we got a menu item like this, and this should actually be hidden. It should only be visible at the time of mobile, I think. So so you can just say burger menu icon at include MQ. I think it's tablet or what? Large, medium, what it is? What is it? At include MQ. Have you put any add media query or not? You have. Okay, good. So I'm a copycat, so I'll just copy it and I'll put it over here, and then I'll say display block, but otherwise, sorry, display none, right? Because I don't want it to be shown when it's larger than the tablet screen, so it shouldn't be shown. So now it's visible, otherwise it should be display block, which means in mobile it should be visible. Okay, so there you go. Cool. So I think we've got everything we need.